Hey guys, MuJK here. Just wanted to finally respond to my FAQ type of video, I guess. I had made a video thanking you for the 4K subs, and then I asked you guys to ask me some questions, and I went through all the comments and hearted all the questions that I was going to answer here, or like love them, quote unquote. So I'm going to just go down one by one, go in order, at least in the order is showing up for me on the screen, and then I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. Again, maybe I won't get overly private or whatever, but I'll try to answer it the best that I can without copying out too much. So while I'm doing that, so you guys actually have something to watch and not be completely bored, I'm going to try to just kind of like, I guess, auto through the Princess Weeps EX levels. As you can see, I have 3-starred all of them. EX4 was actually pretty tricky. I definitely had to manual that very carefully, but the rest I actually am able to auto, not 100% success rate, but for the most part, if I get a good friend unit with the right leader skill and everything, it turns out to be somewhat reliable. So I'm still in the process of farming all of these. I'm like kind of at 4.5 stars for most of them. So yeah, I'll just farm like each one once, and then if it happens to go longer than that, I'll just cycle through it again. So the first EX1, you probably want to bring a Thunder team here. So I'll do this. Okay, Karis will be perfect. I'll go ahead and bring her. So hopefully I can clear it with this autoing through. So, okay, anyway, with this, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first question. So the first question is from Doubles Way. I apologize if I mispronounce any names, of course. He says, beyond the tiers, the mechanics, etc., what is your favorite character, male and female, both in aesthetics and fun, for you to use? Okay, so this is kind of like not just the strongest or whatever, but who I actually enjoy the most. So as far as a male character, I'd have to go with my boy Balt. My original favorite character actually was Magnus, but for some reason, as I played him more, I just kind of got bored of him. I don't know why. And then everybody and their mothers are using Magnus all the time. So, but I do kind of like the fact that Balt is still semi-rare. So he was the first kind of premium unit that I pulled, and I kept getting more and more dupes of him for whatever reason. And I've been using him ever since. He's never let me down. So he's my favorite male character for sure. Female character, that is tricky. I may have to cop out a little bit here and give 2 answers. Okay, so the original one was Selena because she was just so invincible, but she's gotten boring because tanks are slow. Right now, currently, it's a tie between Sita and Dorothea. They're both actually very similar. They both can, they both have warrior jobs. They're both fairly tanky. They have AoE, some long range stuff, but they're basically melee. So they're kind of similar, but I definitely get a good vibe from using them. So they're a lot of fun for me. So I'm going to move on from this question. If I take this long on every single question, I'm going to be in trouble here. So second question is from Insomnia Diary. What do you do for work that's got you so busy? Okay, so I work in proposals, which is basically like government contracting, like you're trying to win contracts from the government. I live in the DC area, Washington, DC area in America, so there's a lot of federal contracts that we can try to win. So when these proposals are due, and they're like really, really important to, you know, earn jobs and everything for the company that I work for, you basically end up doing weekends, late nights, and all those kinds of things toward the end, toward crunch time. I am the senior proposal manager on those kinds of things, so I have a lot of responsibility to make sure that it turns out right. So it's not something that I can just kind of casually do. A good thing about my job, though, is that I do have downtime, like when it's not in crunch time. So that's why I have so much time to make these videos, to comment, respond to you guys, because there is downtime for sure. It's like work in spurts kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, lately it's just been pretty nonstop and really, really busy. There was one point where I was working all throughout the weekend. I missed like 3 family birthdays because of it. And, you know, it was kind of a lull with my video making. But yeah, that's why I was so busy. But Until next week, at my current job, and it's going to be pretty chill because I'm just getting things wrapped up before I leave to go to my next job. So, yep, I hope that answers more than you could ever want to know, I guess. That's probably more than I had planned to divulge. Ich bin X. What should I use my Veda Tower tokens on? He mentions that he's been just buying the sword and shield equipments. Yeah, that's definitely the most important thing that I bought. I bought like all of those out because I tend to buy those with gems, and you always need them, like the Sacred Lion Blades and the shield. I forgot what they're called. You always need those, so I stocked up on those with the Veda Tower coins. Some of the other stuff, I forget, it was like shards for gear, I guess. I haven't been too diligent with gear shards because I feel like it's just such a steep tower to climb. Nope, pun intended. But like, you use so many shards, you use so many coins or whatever, and you get it up to 5 stars, and it doesn't even end up being that much of a big difference. In my experience, again, the only time that going to 5 stars was like a huge jump was Gurren Blade, and that was of course a free weapon. So yeah, I'm just kind of stocking up on the same kinds of things, like equipments that I know I'm gonna need. I have not bought any of the like Job 11 type of equipment for the new characters because I actually just got those from the secret shop instead before the Veda Tower came out. So yeah, that's pretty much my answer. I think there's going to be a lot more interesting stuff going forward in the future. Maybe there's going to be like elemental shards or character shards and specific gears that we can make. But for now, the stuff in the shop is pretty vanilla. I am definitely not using all of my tokens though. I have like a good amount saved up. Okay, Otaku, I'm sorry, I just scrolled too far here. Otaku Spirit asks, your project sounds like quite an undertaking. I think he's talking about my tier list. Are you planning on splicing together stat totals from 3 job masters and weigh them to available skills? Or does most of a unit's worth weigh on available skill borrowing? I think I kind of answered this question already, actually. I'm not splicing together stats or anything like that. Okay, good. I autoed through the level. It's just going to basically be like... I'm going to take stats into consideration somewhat. There are some units that are obviously very low on stats, like especially free units, but for the most part, it's just going to be like off the top of my head. I'll look up some information and I'll probably refer to Game's tier list as well because he has a lot of good information in there. But because it is just basically broken down into a finite number of tiers, it doesn't need to be that precise. So for EX2... I forget what kind of enemies are in here. I think it's... do I take water, maybe? I don't quite remember. Oh, there's no water leader here. No Shaynas. Surprise, surprise. If this is the wrong team, I'll just retreat. So, yeah, that was Otaku Spirit's question. Okay, yeah, there seems to be some fire in here, so I'll just roll with this. Okay, Pak Shen Chung, he has several questions. What made you think you wanted to start YouTube in the first place? Oh, geez. I don't know. I think the first video I ever made was Street Fighter related. I had gotten a Mad Catz fight stick, if you know what that is, and this was like right when Street Fighter 4 was coming out, and for some reason I thought it'd be funny to record my practice with the stick because I had used controller or pad all my life, and I thought it was hilarious how bad I was on sticks. So I started recording like me practicing with that, and then I wanted to kind of go back and look at it and see, wow, I used to suck and look how much better I am now. And people actually thought it was kind of funny, and then I did some like Street Fighter 4 content, some trials, and some online matches. And a lot of that was actually for, I thought it would be entertaining for people, but at the same time, I wanted to like track my progress and see how much I got better. And I actually kind of liked analyzing my matches, and I don't like doing that within the game. So that was kind of one of the first reasons. And then like with Final Fantasy Record Keeper, I made videos for that for quite a while. I don't know really what the motivation was. I was an active forum participant on Record Keeper forum, and I think the videos were served as like here's how I did this, the boss, here's my strategy, and kind of sharing with the community that way. And then with FFBE, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, I was actually in on the beta, or I don't know if it was a beta. It might have just been like a soft launch, but you know, some of us were playing that before it globally launched, and you know, nobody was really making videos. So I kind of was like, oh, there's like a gap in the market. I might as well make some videos and do some poll videos, and you know, see if people like that or if they find it helpful. And so I was kind of like, you know, one of the first ones, I guess, doing that. And then, of course, later on, there came a lot more people who, you know, frankly, do a lot better job than I ever did. And then with Alchemist Code, I don't know. I just, by then, I was just kind of addicted to YouTube. I just like hearing feedback. I like hearing people's thoughts. I like interacting with my commenters because they tend to not be idiots, and they tend to, you know, really make me think or realize things about the game. And it's just fun. And then like when I pull good stuff, like maybe this sounds kind of weird or I don't know, pathetic to some people, but like if I pull something really good and it's just me that knows about it, like I feel like it's not like as satisfying as like, you know, showing it to people and then other people kind of being like, wow, that was a good pull, or wow, that was a sucky pull. Because, you know, like at my age, there aren't any other friends really playing the kind of games that I play. I mean, they play some other games, but we don't really like talk about them. So this is kind of like, you know, my substitute for that. It's like, I want to talk about these things. I want to share these things because I'm so passionate about it. I enjoy it so much, but my real life friends don't play them. So this is like my way of getting my fix there. So I don't really know what it is, but that's part of it. And also, you know, ever since my channel has grown to a certain size, I do get money from it. So that helps as well because, you know, I get to spend money in the game and not feel guilty about it at all. Do you set a limit on how much money you will put into TAC or gacha games in general? I have never really been good about budgeting. I mean, I don't go crazy or anything like that, but it would just depend on like the content, like what I really want. I mean, I make pretty good money in real life, so that helps. But especially lately, you know, the YouTube money coming in helps me a lot. I think I spent a lot more early on in TAC, and now I've slowed down quite a lot. I don't do like all 9 steps or anything like that anymore. Plus, you know, I don't know. It's not that much anymore, but I don't know the full amount. I'm sorry. Okay, number 3, what do you think about the future of your channel? Maybe diversify to other games or just TAC oriented? Right now, I'm trying to stick with TAC. There are other games I play right now. Like I still play FGO. My second favorite game right now is definitely Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. But I feel like what's the point of making videos because there's a ton of other people out there already making videos that are, you know, way better than what I would do. Like I'm not gonna be able to put out anything that I think is valuable for people. I don't want to just throw my content out there into the big ocean just for the sake of it. So, you know, that's why I'm not really showing any other games right now. Whereas TAC, I feel like not only is it my #1 game, but I feel like I actually know the game a lot better than any other game that I play. Like the other games that I play, I'm like relying on other people for everything. Or, you know, I'm just kind of go through the game blind. But in TAC, I actually feel like, you know, I try to stay on top of things and I know what's going on. At least on the global side. Definitely not the JP side. Number 4, do you plan to do a face reveal? I've gotten this a lot. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm a... Oh, no, I died. Okay, that's fine. It's not like I am ashamed of my face, and I'm not like an ogre or anything like that. But I do guard my privacy somewhat. I don't want people like looking me up, knowing exactly who I am, or even worse, like finding out anything about my family. I've heard horror stories about YouTubers, and I know I'm not like big at all, and I know nobody would bother to bother me. But, you know, once you hear a couple of these things about doxing and all this stuff, you kind of like, okay, well, no matter how small the risk is, I'm not doing anything that's going to put my family in any kind of danger. So, yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that even if someone were to find out my name, it's like not like some really rare name. So there's that. But I don't know. Maybe at some point. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? Okay. Thanks for those questions, by the way. Okay, ZNIFT. Okay, let me go to EX3 first. Okay, what is this? Forcus Lance. Okay, that's a water enemy, but I remember I think wind works pretty decently here. So do I have a wind team? Yeah. Maybe I'll bring Karis to help me take out Forcus. I don't know. Okay. So let's go with this. Okay, Zenith's question is, I feel like the list should be unique from the Japanese tier list. I have an idea. Instead of having elemental specific tier list, why not have class specific like ranged, parentheses, sniper, machinist, ranger, melee, DPS, tanks, and mages, so on. That way, people new to the game can just head over to the list, look at which units are strong for which role, and build on them, etc. He suggests doing it in Excel. Oh, okay. So, I mean, these are good suggestions. I don't know exactly how I'll do it yet, but the only thing with that is that I don't want to give the impression that, hey, I have a good range unit, so I'm set there, or hey, I have a good tank, so I'm set there. Because you still need to have elemental coverage, especially in light of Veda Tower. Like, you could have a really solid tank, like Vettel or Selena, but that's not going to help you in a level where the elements are off, you know? So, like, I feel like the elements still is very, very important. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some kind of, like, mix of both. But anyway, his question is, how much have you spent on the game already? Yeah, like I said, I don't know. If you want to like kind of calculate, you know, most of my polls are online. So like early on, like for instance, for Shayna or Bolt, like those banners, I know I did all 9 steps, which is like what, like 22,500 gems. Most of the other times I would do like a 3-step, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea, honestly. I don't check that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like I'm like cutting it close or, you know, running out of money. So I don't really keep track of that stuff. So I'm really sorry. I can't answer that question. But yeah, I mean, considering that, you know, I get a monthly YouTube check, that definitely eases the pain there. West Tang asks, it seems you don't play FFBE anymore. That's true. I'm not really playing it at all. Like, for a while, I was like losing interest, and then I was like doing dailies or just logging in, but I don't even log in anymore. So unless something really changes in the game or something really cool happens, I don't know if I'll be coming back anytime soon. So the last hurrah for me was like I pulled really hard for Cloud and I didn't get him. So after that, I was just like, okay, I quit. So, okay, so Brady Edwards asks, also, I was curious to know if you were thinking about opening a Discord server. A few people have mentioned this as well. I sound like an old fart, but I don't really keep up with all the like social media, Discord, all that stuff. Partly on purpose, because I feel like I already spend enough time making the videos and then interacting with the comments. So I don't know if I could handle anything else. Maybe I could spend less time on comments and do more stuff on Discord and interact with people there, because I know most YouTubers, they don't talk to the commenters that much. I'm a little overboard maybe, but we'll see. I kind of want to dabble in it first. I don't know if Discord really offers a huge advantages over like just seeing the commenters. I'm not really sure. Okay, so Joaquin Zamora asks, could you, in your reviews or plan tier list, include if a certain job should be job mastered to gain those stats for FTP? I think rather than doing that unit specifically or character specifically, I could do something like that on a separate video talking about jobs in general, because the jobs always give the same amount of stats. So like there are certain jobs that give really bad stats even if you master them. So that's a good video idea for the future. So let's go ahead and go into EX4. I don't know. She's gonna text me a lot. She tends to text in flurries. This level, I know I'm gonna do a continue probably, because the only time I've ever cleared it without a continue is when I did everything manually and very carefully. So that's okay. All right. So thank you for that question, Joaquin. Hey, Smooth. Was wondering if there were specific units that you were looking forward to whale on. I personally am looking forward to Soul and Roy Mustang. I know Lahar, maybe Laharl, is a higher tier fire unit than Roy, but I have my reasons. Yeah, I think the only two that are really I'm planning to whale on are Noctis and Gilgamesh. Noctis because I liked, I don't even remember what it's called anymore. There was like a Final Fantasy 15 movie that was like amazing. It was like the best video game movie I've ever seen. It had Noctis very briefly. I mean, he was a young baby or boy or whatever, but that got me intrigued with Final Fantasy 15. And then in FFBE, actually, he was my favorite unit for the longest time. So I definitely want Noctis. And then Gilgamesh, I want him because, again, I do play Fate Go Grand Order, and then I liked Fate Stay Night. You can see that on Netflix, by the way, if you want to. And Gilgamesh was kind of like the main baddie. So, you know, I don't like him personally, like as a personality, but he's like so badass kind of in that series that, you know, I definitely want to pull him. And they're both top tier units, of course. So, and they're limited. So those are reasons why I would want to whale on them. I probably won't whale so much on units that I know are going to come back and be in the general pool, but those two are limited and they're top tier, and I know them, so I'm whaling on those two for sure. Prakyath Balal asks, "Grats on the 4K. Love the way you just chill and talk about the content. Thank you very much. Question, do you use your tiny tots for grinding the TAC?" No, I do not. I have had my kid play the game because he kept begging me to play. And then I just put it on auto and he thought he was doing it. So there's that. But for the most part, no, he doesn't play this game. Okay. A couple of people asked to be my friends. I think I already added them. They're asking, are you going to do the tier list differently than the global tier list that's already on Reddit? Yes, I am. I'm going to make it more in the mold of the JP tier list. The ones that are on Reddit are like the one by game is really good. Very, very detailed, very practical, and probably more useful than what I'm going to make, but mine's just for fun. Let's see here. What's the next question? JMD7. I know this question might be too serious, but how and why did you fall for Twice? Twice is a K-pop group. It's a girl group, and they're like by far my favorite group right now. So I've been on and off with K-pop. I've liked pretty much all kinds of music. Like my favorite bands were like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Boyz II Men, and then I like kind of old school K-pop, and then I kind of fell away from it. And I kind of am not really a big K-pop fan right now either, but I am a big Twice fan, and they would call us onces. But like I actually didn't like them at first because the one group that I kind of did like, AOA, was kind of beaten by them for number one on this one weekly show, and it was by this song called Cheer Up. But I kind of despised them and got annoyed because they kept pronouncing it like chut up, like chut up. I'm like, why are they saying chut up? It's cheer up. And their producer or whatever should know that because he speaks good English. So they kind of annoyed me at first, but then somehow I circled back to them when my brother-in-law and his wife kept like saying how good Twice is, and good Twice is so good, blah blah blah. And I heard a couple of their songs again, and just hearing it in a different light, I got hooked really bad. And I went back, and Cheer Up is like one of my favorite songs now. But yeah, they're the only group I really like in K-pop right now. Actually, Blackpink's pretty good too. Okay, Windcrest Zephyr. Why is the 99-cent gem offer giving more gems per dollar than the higher offers? Oh, wow, is that true? I didn't know that. If that is true, it makes sense economically only because typically in these gacha games, the like $1 stuff or $2 stuff, it's really there to just get people out of the thinking of like, I'm not spending a dime on this game. I'm never spending money. I'm free to play. I'm proud to be free to play. Like once you're able to spend that first dollar or 99 cents, then it opens you up to spending more in the future. So they're willing to price it better or give you more gems because they know that it's kind of like a gateway into spending more money. So that's my theory. I'm pretty sure that's right. David Vanguard. Congrats on the 4K subs. Keep up with the good job. Without you, I wouldn't be playing this game. That's really touching. That's really touching indeed. Glad to hear that. Well, not glad to hear that somebody would quit the game, but that's knowing that I actually do kind of make a difference. That's really nice. Personal questions, if you don't mind answering, I'd like to know, if not in what country you live, at least what time zone. Yeah, so I live in the United States, as I mentioned earlier, on the East Coast in the DC area. I won't go any more specific than that, but that's pretty specific, I think. So Eastern Standard Time or whatever. Yeah, that's where I live. Mexico Junior. Hi JK, do you play a Japan TAC version? No, I don't play the Japanese versions. I would like to if I could read it, but I'm not gonna like play a game that I can't read and I have to look up everything, like what are they saying here. That's why I don't play Japanese versions. Yahort Style, do you think global needs a better balance? Because they just bring Japanese map and I find some too difficult, especially the EX2 and 4. If you don't have Selena, it's almost impossible to do no death. Okay, so I guess I'll circle back and do this one again. EX4. Uh-oh. Alright, no water. So let's just bring this, I guess. I mean, I could go back to the home screen and that resets the mercenaries that are available, but yeah, that's fine. I would agree that for sure in the past there has been really big balance issues. Most notably the Sabretta EX event, that was just terrible. It came way too early. It was hard enough to beat at all. I mean, most people ended up using Zengetsu and 3 Chronomancers, or there are some people who were able to do it very, very slowly and methodically with Feng Lu, and it was very strategic and hard. But the fact that you needed to farm it like over 100 times was ridiculous, and it still kind of is. The winter event was a little bit hard too. I mean, you start off in this fishbowl and everybody's chucking snowballs at you and you get petrified immediately. And most of the professors were too slow, like too low agility to even get vaccine off before he got petrified anyway. You ended up having to like level up high level Michael to do it really to go faster than the snowball throwers. Or what ended up just happening was that everybody just ended up using Shayna. So it ended up being really boring. So yes, there has been really bad balancing in this game. But I think for the past month and a half, I think the balancing has been fine. These EX maps are definitely kind of hard. Especially this 4 one, I would say. It's pretty hard to stay alive. So yeah, the no death is hard, but I mean, as far as beating it, they allow continues and everything, and it's really optional. I mean, Sakura's not even out yet, and well, she is out, but most people don't have her yet. I am predicting that she's gonna be on the step 3 tomorrow, but it's not necessarily a must. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue this one's a little bit hard, but for the most part, I think they've gotten it right recently, and I've really liked the trend in this game. I don't like things to be overly challenging, especially if you have to farm it. If it's like a one-time clear, it can be harder, but if you have to do it over and over and over, then I think it shouldn't be that hard. Do you think that Gumi also needs to balance multi? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. But I do think maybe if they allow leader skills to actually, activate, that would help in multi because you kind of need help in multi because people are kind of random and they don't know what they're doing or they're not paying attention. So, things tend to be harder on multiplayer. So maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should have like the hardest stuff on multiplayer. They tend to put like the EXs and stuff on multi and they leave off some of the easier stuff. So I don't know why they do that. I think they should give you various difficulties and different options to play online. Who's your favorite unit? I think I answered that already. Throughout the life of the game, it's been Bolt, but right now it's probably Sita or Dorothea. All right, so John Moyer. Let's see where his question is. I have it hearted. What field of work are you in? Yeah, I already mentioned that. I'm a senior proposal manager, and that's like a business development type of thing. So, yeah. Christopher Box, longtime viewer here. Would you say this game is free-to-play friendly? I would say so. Definitely not at times. There are some levels that are tuned a little bit too hard. But then sometimes I think that, whoa, this is way too hard. And then I find out that people find these strategies out there and they're using free-to-play teams. So I'm proven wrong there. So here's my thing. The properly balanced gacha game is going to be really hard for free-to-play, but doable. Like if you are diligent every day farming, doing all the right stuff, and you're strategic and you do your research, then everything should be doable for you. Whereas pay to win players, quote unquote, they should be able to do all the content as well, but it would require less strategy, a little less effort, a little less, grinding, I guess. I don't know. So that's my idea of a properly balanced game. Like if they make it easy for free to play, then that game is just way too easy. But if they make it impossible for free to play, then the whole game is pay to win, which is not a good model either. So it should be hard for free to play, challenging, but not as hard for pay to win players. And I think the game right now currently is kind of striking the balance correctly there. And the thing is that, once they started allowing you to farm shards every day, like all the 4-star units, all the noteworthy ones, I think that's when it became free to play friendly because most of the top tier units, I would say, are farmable, like Lucian, Lofia, Karis, Rahu, Zangetsu. All of those are farmable right now, so it's hard to argue that it's not free to play friendly. It just takes longer. You might have to farm a little bit longer, and you might have to miss out on some of the really toughest content time to time, but most of the stuff comes back. So yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's all the questions I think I got. So I don't have any idea how long this video went. This could be way too long, but I'm going to upload it all anyway. So hopefully you guys, I don't know, found it kind of interesting. Yeah, thank you guys again for all your support, all your questions. I thought they were pretty interesting. And, tomorrow, of course, I'll be pulling on the next banner, but for now, I'll just be, signing off and just feeling appreciative because not only do you make the game more fun for me, of course, you help out with my YouTube channel, and that helps me out to keep pulling more in this game and having more fun. And hopefully, I'm returning that back to you and making it more fun for you as well. So take care, guys, and I appreciate you all. Peace.